Cesare's Fury is a deceptively simple event, but if you and your Alliance members don't know all the lesser known mechanics, then you might be missing out on Mythic General Hero shards and other rewards. In this guide, I'll walk you through all you need to know to get the maximum potential amount of shards each time it comes around. But first, let's talk a bit about the event fundamentals. Every time this event comes around, it lasts for 3 days, and there are 2 parts to it. There's an Alliance coordination part, and then there is a separate individual part where rewards can be enhanced through Alliance coordination. So let's start with the individual part. For that, you'll be using a lot of stamina if you intend to complete all 50 stages, and you absolutely should. First, you'll have to pick a difficulty level. The first time you play, you'll only have easy mode unlocked, and if you clear all 50 stages of that, you'll be able to select normal difficulty the next time the event comes around. And this pattern continues up until you cap out at insane. Now, despite the scary sounding difficulty levels, they're actually fairly easy to complete if you are a somewhat regular active player that keeps pace with the average server strength. So always choose the hardest difficulty available. Even if you don't fully complete it for some reason, chances are you will have better rewards than fully completing a lower difficulty level. And you can also get help if needed to complete the missions. So choosing a lower difficulty level is just taking orange shards off of your table. Once you have selected a difficulty, you'll be able to scout your first Cesare. You do this by paying 15 stamina for him to appear on the world map. You must then spend additional stamina to attack and ultimately defeat him. You can either attack him through a normal solo march, or with a rally. You also have the option to ask another player for help a limited amount of times in the event by using a Cesare's Accord item. More on that in a moment. So if we think about this from a strictly stamina reduction standpoint, it would suggest that you should try to solo march as many Cesares as you can. The good news is that if you are defeated, you regain your spent stamina. You can also defeat Cesares far in excess of your recommended power level. For more info on how to do that, check out my Winning Unwinnable Battles video, linked below in the description. For stamina reduction, you should also use Diana for every march or rally since she will save you up to 20% stamina, excluding the scouting stamina cost. That can mean saving anywhere from 100 to 250 save stamina over the course of the entire event, depending on how frequently you need to rally. Now, you may be tempted to complete the event all at once when it launches, but you really don't need to. There are higher return on stamina usages for your stored Governor Stamina meat during other events. So you should spread out your attacks over the entire 3-day window. So now back to those Cesare Accords. On the surface, they are positioned as a way for you to get extra help on a few individual stages if you cannot clear those stages yourself, even with a rally. You get 5 of them at the start of the event, and if you use them, you don't give up the rewards you would otherwise get for completing them yourself. To confirm, see these reports from Cesares. One of them is a battle where I paid the stamina cost. One of them is a battle where I used the Cesare's Accord and participated as a rally joiner. And one of them is a battle where I used the Cesare's Accord and did not participate in the rally at all. In all 3 cases, I got the same rewards. Additionally, if you are the person who completes the Cesare's battle for someone else who used the Cesare's Accord, you get some very good rewards for the first 7 times you do it. In addition to the usual speed-ups in Governor Gear material, you'll get 2 additional things. A special Cesare's Aid chest, which can contain orange shards, gems, and speed-ups, as well as an additional Cesare's Accord you can use on your own missions. Now, if we also consider that you get rewards for joining any Cesare rallies of other Alliance members' individual missions, up to 50 per day, you can start to see that there's a bit of an optimization puzzle here to unlock. So let's unpack it. Since you get the exact same rewards for using a Cesare's Accord as you do for completing the battle yourself, and this includes the missions that are multiples of 10s where you get additional shards as a reward, then you should always be sure to use every Cesare's Accord to which you have access. Not only does it save you stamina, but it also allows other Alliance members to earn additional rewards, both for leading the rally and for joining it. Therefore, you should also not join a rally for your own Cesare mission so as to maximize the rewards for other Alliance members, as it costs you nothing. Please note that if you think you might need the Cesare's Accords to complete the highest difficulties of the 50 missions, then consider saving them for your last few levels. It also makes sense to complete rallies for others that have requested help with their Cesare's Accords. If we look at the regular rally rewards, they are comparable to defeating a level 5 Terror. 25 Satin, the same amount of speed-ups, and about the same number of resources if evenly distributed, except you get to pick the exact allocation of the custom resource chest. So we've already broken even there, and since you're getting the Cesare's Accord, you sort of get your stamina back since this will save you from having to launch another rally in the future, or at least another solo march. So in terms of stamina efficiency, this is already one of the best conversions of stamina to resources in the game, if not altogether free. And now we get to that Cesare's Aid chest. Even though there's a very low probability, you can get a Mythic General Hero Shard. There are very few places in the game where you can exchange stamina for an orange hero shard, especially one that isn't Jabel. So this already sets it apart as a top tier stamina use case before you get into the other goodies like gems and speed ups. So overall, you should absolutely rally when another player asks for help, but only up until 7 times. After that, you don't get these rewards, and more importantly, you deprive an Alliance member of the opportunity to get them for themselves. You should only go above 7 if it is near the end of day 3 and an Alliance member needs help actually beating the mission and everyone else has already exceeded 7. So what about that 50 rally joining per day bonus? Obviously, you should get as much of it as you can, but is it worth it for you and your Alliance members to intentionally host rallies you could otherwise solo to maximize rewards? Well, to answer that, we need some math. Sorry. So defeating a Cesare on insane difficulty will give you 5 minutes of building speed-ups, and 1.2 million food, if you normalize the rewards to be bred from the standard 1:1:5:20 ratio of in-game resources. Yes, the Cesares on missions that are a multiple of 10 give different rewards, but it sort of doesn't matter since you get these rewards anyway from solo march, rallying, or using a Cesare's Accord. So we can actually exclude these resources from the calculation. Because the real question is it worth the incremental 12 stamina to defeat the Cesare with a rally versus a solo march? And here I assume you have Diana's skill at max, otherwise it's a 15 stamina differential. So we need to look at what that incremental 12 stamina can get us. In this case, if we perfectly collaborated with 14 other governors to all make this choice and join each other's rallies, we would get joiner rewards for 14 other Cesare rallies for the one that we hosted. Each rally would give us 5 minutes of troop speed-ups, 6 satin, and 200,000 food, which is the equivalent value of the 20 custom resource chests you get. So if we multiply this by 14 rallies, we end up with 70 minutes of troop speed-ups, 84 satin, and 2.8 million food. Now, let's look at rallying a level 7 Terror as a benchmark. Joining a level 7 Terror rally gets you 5 minutes of troop speed-ups, 10 satin, and 440,000 food, as well as a 20% chance of 10 gems. If we multiply by joining 14 times, we get 70 minutes of troop speed-ups, 140 satin, and 6.16 million resources, and 28 gems. Now don't forget, unlike the Cesares, we do get incremental resources for hosting our own level 7 Terrors. This provides 35 minutes of healing speed-ups, 15 minutes of troop speed-ups, 35 satin, and 630,000 food. And here I'm also excluding the bonus special rewards for the first 10 Terrors you challenge in a day, which can give a purple shard or 40 gems. So the expected value for you and 14 Alliance members each hosting a rally and joining each other's rallies is 35 minutes of healing speed-ups, 85 minutes of troop speed-ups, 175 satin, 6.79 million food, and 28 gems. But it takes us 20 stamina to achieve this, so to normalize it to our 12 incremental stamina, we need to multiply the rewards by 12 20ths. This yields 21 minutes of healing speed-ups, 51 minutes of troop speed-ups, 105 satin, 4.074 million food, and 17 gems. So we actually come out significantly ahead if we use that incremental 12 stamina on a level 7 terror versus rallying a Cazares. Now, the rewards change a bit based both on the level of the terror and the difficulty of the Cazares you selected. However, if you're an established player with this event maxed out, it suggests that you should not coordinate with your allies to spend additional stamina trying to create additional Cazares rallies. Whew, okay, math time's over. So what does this all mean in terms of simple guidance for you and your alliance? Just follow these 5 rules. Do always use the highest difficulty available. Do use all of your Cazares Accords, even if you don't need them to beat the levels. Do rally other Alliance members' Cazares up to 7 times to get more Cazares Accords. Do not rally Alliance members' Cazares when you can no longer get Accords. Save them for other members of your Alliance. And finally, do join rallies when you can, but do not intentionally rally Cazares you can defeat solo to try to maximize the rewards for everyone. It's a suboptimal use of stamina even with perfect coordination. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the other portion of the event which requires your alliance to work together. As alliance members complete higher difficulty levels on their individual Cazares missions, it unlocks boss Cazares for the whole alliance to defeat. An alliance leader can scout to make them appear, and then it's a free-for-all to defeat it for rewards. Now your instincts might be to throw powerful marches at it and try to cause high damage like in Bear Hunt, but this is actually suboptimal play. Your rewards are not based on damage dealt. In fact, you only need to attack the boss once with a single troop to get the full rewards. And if you defeat it too fast, you might deprive your alliance members of getting their rewards if they have not gotten attack in. This is especially important with the first couple bosses in a stronger alliance, as single players' attacks could take 5 to 10% of the health away easily. So instead, your alliance leader should establish some ground rules to maximize rewards for everyone. First, the Cazares should only be summoned when there are a lot of people online. For example, right after you finish Bear Hunt is a great time. Then once the Cazare is up, everyone should attack with a single march of 1 troop to tag the boss and get credit for the loot. Once you've tagged it, stop sending additional marches. Then the alliance leader should wait to see that no more marches have come, meaning everyone has tagged it for rewards. At that point, they give the all clear for everyone to defeat and move on to the next Cazare. At least, that's how it's supposed to go. Without fail, you will have some alliance members who don't read chat or don't pay attention. You can make this video required watching to help you mitigate it, but I'm always surprised at how often we have rogue members attacking. If there's only 1 or 2, then you can completely mitigate the effects and everyone can still get the rewards, but I'll leave it up to you as alliance leaders to decide how to deal with offending members. And this fact, by the way, is why I do not propose to leave the Cazares up for a period of hours for everyone to get an attack in. Someone will screw it up somewhere. Just go through them at a time where as many people as possible are available and do the best that you can. And one final note on this game mode, the rewards for defeating the Cazares are completely randomized, which can cause some sort of confusion. But to be clear, it does not matter how much damage you do. As proof, look at these battle reports and rewards. I sent a single march of 1 infantry to each boss and did 0.00% damage each time. And I still managed to get 4 orange shards from 5 bosses due to the random chance. Meanwhile, there were folks in my alliance that did real damage and only got 1 or 2. So this is your proof. All in all, this is a great event with many chances to get orange shards, gems, speed-ups, resources, true gold, satin, and more. And now you know how it works to maximize these things. So be sure to share this video with your alliance members as well, since you can now see how some of your success depends on them. And if you found this guide helpful, I have many more available on the Kingshot Essentials playlist and the rest of my channel. So be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching, and happy gaming out there.